Trading Market Technical Morning Call here for Friday, August the 10th. And we had another consolidation day. Stocks are bouncing around from positive to negative territory pretty much all day, whipping a lot of traders around, looking to get short the market. Market does not fail and pops right back up again. As you can see here on this 10-minute S&P SPY chart, look what we've been doing, back and forth shopping around. However, I mentioned many times, if you are not a market trader, right? You don't need to constantly looking to trade the spiders or the SPYs, the SSOs, and what have you. There's a lot of opportunity still out there. You have to find it, and it's very important to realize that. Unfortunately, there are like 5,000, 6,000 issues stock out there, different companies, and it's very hard. You're sitting in front of a screen, and I understand that I'm used to a certain amount of stocks that I look at on a regular basis because I know the characteristics of it. So that's why sometimes I do nothing. However, one of my sectors that I've been talking about was the coal sector. And I wanted to just briefly touch on it before we run into the analysis, is that you need to keep a good watch. Even if you're a longer-term investor, a swing trader, or a day trader. We did have a nice little pop yesterday in the coal sector. Okay, and that's also basic materials. And I'm going to show you a couple charts that I want to show you real quick, but this sector is going to be active in the next couple months. They very heavily shorted, heavily hated, but we had some good news come out of some stocks, and what happened was here, and I want to show you A&R, Alpha Natural Resources. This is how it could get tricky for a novice guy. If the stock's been basing for the last 4 or 5 days going into earnings, so it was undecisive of earnings. Now, I was on the earnings call yesterday, 2 days ago, and the call wasn't bad at all. It was actually quite upbeat, but they did miss a little bit. So Wall Street pounded the stock down. I think a lot of it with a $7 number is a lot of retail traders. So didn't realize what was happening. So yesterday, look what happened. It took it right back. This is extremely bullish, guys. Extremely bullish. So risk reward is great here because below this 575 area, 576 area is where you would put ultimately your stop. So this is a great looking trade. Look to trade this if you are trading, but keep in mind, don't let the stock price fool you. It is a very volatile stock, as well as the ACI that I mentioned the last time. So you really be cautious about that. Here's the ACI. Here's a 5-minute chart. We traded some of this yesterday, and this is the close from yesterday. And as you can see, as it dips for the first 5-15 minutes. That's why I always say really nothing to do in the first 15 minutes. You should always be watching what the markets are doing. And sure enough, this candle here gave you a breakout. Yes, the other candle came back in again, but your stops would have been way down here, which is really only a dime. Great trade. Look at this. Back up in here, bull flag, and a rally back up into the highs. So the coal sector is in play. And if you guys are day trading or you're swing trading, you might want to look for something like this. This is just an idea, but please use your own plan, your own risk plan, and your risk tolerance as far as how many shares you're looking to trade. Again, this is just a trade idea, and I'm not recommending anything for guys that really are new to the game. Okay, so back to the analysis. Now, as you can see here, we're really stuck in this range, right? We broke down below, we broke back in this range, and now we're back out of it again. This market is ready to do something in a big way. We're at its highs. And I really do think that the markets are poised either to test the highs at 1422, usually as a magnet, or I think the markets are ready to roll over. And I do think that the risk is to the downside next, not to the upside. Another 10, 15 points higher, there really is no risk. But I think at 1422, 1424, a lot of the short sellers are going to come out to this market. Now, let's talk about China real quick. I mentioned China is actually slowing in a big way. I follow China a lot because it's a big buyer of our agricultural and commodities, hard commodities, soft commodities, grains. And China, I told you the other night, they had some decent numbers, and they usually are skewed half of the time. Well, they came out with numbers last night again, and not good. China is definitely slowing. We're going to have a big trade in the China trade soon. But what has to happen is all eyes need to get out of Europe and now focus on what's happening in China. And then you're going to have that big China play. Until then, Europe is king right now. So we want to keep that in mind and watch the euro. Euro is actually down this morning. So just, a little word of caution. We are down about 4 handles. Really not much of anything. So today is the doldrums of summer. You might get an hour and a half of trading, and then probably all bets are off for the rest of the day. All right, bar chart momentum indicator index. Great little index. We're back here in a neutral area around 100. Up in this area, 101.52 is really overbought. Now we're unwinding, as you can see here, so we need to pay attention to that. And I'm going to show you some of these stocks, these charts that I showed you yesterday. But I need to show you these because it's very important to keep an eye on what's happening. Put call ratio, right? We have extreme complacency, and we have this bullish falling wedge here, starting to curl up here. Use caution because, as you can see here down below, the S&P daily chart is starting to roll over as well. And look at here on the put call, we're actually turning over. We're looking to turn back up in the stochastics here. So again, so just a word of caution. We are getting really extreme complacent, and when you are complacent, the market eventually is going to get caught by surprise, and everybody's going to be running for the exit because it is a long, crowded trade. Okay, SPY stocks above the 50-day moving average. Again, back here at nosebleed seats. If we are looking up, go higher, I'd like to see us at about 25-30%. Now we're at 79 and 80, and the 200 days even up there as well. I don't have that today, but just again a word of caution. VIX down at extreme lows at a base here, so we could get a rally today. It's very, very possible. It's not my opinion. It's just something that that it's very possible that we could get a rally and then a market sell-off. But again, a sell-off would really be healthy for another move higher. Okay. Dollar. Let's take a look at the dollar. This is I extended the dollar chart. I showed you this before. Weekly chart of the U.S. dollar hovering right underneath the 82.5, 83. So a break above this, guys, and he's going to really put some pressure on equities and commodities. So a big run up here will test this area, and then I think it would be pretty much done. For the rest of the year, and then the market would probably fade back down again, which would put a bit into equities, and you have that so-called Santa Claus rally November, December, and into the new year. But I do think we have one more push lower in the cards here, and then of course copper, right? Dr. Copper. Look at what happened. We broke back up here. Great. We have to break this downtrend line, and if we could get this downtrend line broken and Dr. Copper starts to rally, then I think things are starting to look good. But if you have market divergence, the charts are all over the map, right? We have S&P and Dow running higher, where the leaders are running lower. It's really quite a mess as far as a technician to look for. So we look for stocks that are beaten down, looking basing and looking to trend higher. So when money flows out of one sector, they'll go back into the other. So it doesn't matter what the stock has relative strength to what the market is doing, and that's really a nice way to trade, nice and safe. Okay, let's get into the quick charts. I'm going to run through them, guys, because really nothing has changed. As you can see here, we've been just basing above this line. Yes, it is bullish, right, because we're consolidating here, unwinding our overbought and our indicators. But again, we are at lofty levels here. This is a big area, the 1424, 1422 area. So we are going to be testing this area. If we do pop once, I think that will put some sort of a top in it. I'd love to see that, actually. Look to get short the market. 15-minute SPY. Remember I mentioned we have a little head and shoulders pattern yesterday? Well, this is right at the neckline here. Still valid. All right, it's a small one, but it's still valid. It does bring it back down to like somewhere around, what do we have? 95, about 15 S&P points. So, right in this area here, as you can see, the Bollinger Bands are pinching, and we're overbought. So, risk does look right now is to the downside. I do think that the markets look to move lower. Again, look at the volume, SPY. Back up here, overextended in the Bollinger Bands. So, again, just a word of caution if you're looking for trading. And, again, day trading a little different. You're going to trade the stock, and you're going to be out by the end of the day. Bad chart here, looking IYT, not looking too good. So we have the S&P and the Dow pointing higher, and the transportation sector looking lower. So, as you can see, just cannot get a bid here. It comes back, pops up, and rolls back down again. So this is going to be a big sign that this market is ready for a move lower. And when the transportation sector starts to really snap and break this area, I think all bets will be confirmed off to the upside. IWM is constructive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days up on low volume, virtually no volume. So this is a word of caution here. Although we are above the line and we're consolidating, a bullish sign, but this is not what I want to see as far as the volume bars are concerned. Okay, and the SMHs. Nice big move higher. This is a seasonal trend for them, so they are breaking to the upside. So looking pretty constructive there. And last but not least, our Qs running higher again on, again, no volume. Okay. So as you can see, the theme is volume. We have no volume to confirm price. We are, yes, low. We have a August doldrums of the summer, but we still should have a little significant volume if buyers are really stepping up to the plate. So just keep that in mind, guys. I want everybody to have a great weekend. Enjoy the weekend. We'll be back for a full analysis on Monday. All right, keep an eye on that coal sector. Take care and enjoy the weekend, everybody.